In the thick of the Eastern Conference playoff race, there's the first major change to the current playoff standings in a while. The Columbus Blue Jackets are riding a lot of momentum, going 18-2-4 since hiring Rick Bowness, who came out of retirement to coach the Jackets, replacing Dean Evason. The New York Islanders have hit a bit of a skid, falling to the first team outside the playoff picture while also being 1 point back of the Detroit Red Wings for the second wildcard spot in the East. The good news for these two teams, the Pittsburgh Penguins lost earlier today, 5-1 at the hands of the Metropolitan Division leading Carolina Hurricanes. Columbus also has a game in hand on the Islanders as well. These two teams separate by 2 points in the Eastern Conference standings. Columbus at 85 points, New York at 83 points. It's the fourth and final meeting between these two teams. The Islanders won 2 of the 3 previous, both by 1 score. First one on a 3-2 regulation win from 2 Matthew Schaefer goals and a game winner from Simon Holmstrom, who scored another game winner that in an overtime victory 4-3 on February 28th. As he was the hero in overtime, the Islanders scored 3 consecutive goals in the second period. Columbus' only win was on December 28th, 4-2 against the Islanders on a pair of goals from Kirill Marchenko, with the Blue Jackets scoring 3 straight in the third. Marchenko's second goal coming 1:14 after Ivan Provorov's. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava and welcome to Elmont Arena, at UBS Arena at Elmont, New York, right by the Belmont Stakes. And Columbus has been getting contributions up and down the lineup in the last few games, which allows Bonus their luxury to evenly distribute minutes throughout the team. It's nice from a hockey standpoint to have 4 lines that can get the job done. The win highlight the team's depth up and down the lineup against Seattle. And that was emphasized with 16 goals in the last 3 games, with 12 different goal scorers on the board. The fact that they are able to have all 4 lineups being evenly distributed all throughout the lineup, that they're not tired out, speaks to the depth that they have. The Islanders let a winnable game slip from their grasp against the Montreal Canadiens that head coach Patrick Waugh believed turned on a handful of pivotal moments. For a team that thrived all year on a narrative of gritty comebacks and everyone stepping up, this wasn't the case. The Islanders have navigated a heavy road stretch to remain in playoff contention, and they have to reset, refocus, and stay composed. As you get Ian Genge on board here, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'll be able to watch this with you. I know we're supposed to be. We are supposed to be unbiased here. But
I would assume this is about High Point.
Well, on the discussion of High Point, a valiant effort.
It was, but at the end of the day, I know it was a winnable game, but there were some moments that we let slip through our grasp, such as some wide open Chase Johnston threes that he usually makes in his sleep.
Yeah. I was watching that and I'm like, they just need one more 3 to pull away. Just one more, and unfortunately it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Again, but that duel between Rob Martin and Acuff of the Arkansas Razorbacks, that was a really good duel. 30 for Rob, and Acuff put up 36 in that effort. What a game that was between the 2 guards. But still, good luck to Arkansas the rest of the way. And that presser from John Calipari post-game, I have to say, that earned me my respect for him. And that's coming from me, who was admittedly very harsh on Calipari in previous years. Well, what goes, goes. But this is just the beginning for High Point. And with the resources the Panthers have, more guys in the transfer portal could be coming in, and who knows, if we continue dominating the Big South Conference, could a possibility of being at the Atlantic 10 be in sight? Who knows? We don't know just yet. Now, of note, Ian, Ilya Sorokin is starting back-to-back games for the first time this season He was pulled last night after allowing 6 goals to the Montreal Canadiens in a third period that went completely sideways for the Island, where they gave up 4 consecutive Canadiens goals. So they're starting the fourth line of Kyle McQueen, Casey Cizikas, and Mark Gatcomb up against the Blue Jackets' fourth line of Isaac Lundestrom, Boone Jenner, and Danton Heinen. We're underway here. We'll keep you going here throughout the broadcast tonight. Blue Jackets and Islanders in the Eastern Conference wild card battle. We're 1 month away from the playoffs. The Avalanche are the first team that clinched. The Dallas Stars can join the Avalanche tonight with at least 1 point. The Islanders forwards consisting of Anders Lee, Bo Horvat, and Emil Heineman, Cal Ritchie, Braden Shen, Matt Barzal, Andre Palat, Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Simon Holmstrom was a hero twice for the Islanders. Then you have the fourth line, McQueen, Cizikas, and Gatcomb. Defensemen for the Islanders include Adam Pelech and Matthew Schaefer, who's playing on his offside. No Ryan Pollock for tonight's game. Carson Soucy and Tony DeAngelo, Adam Boquist, and Scott Mayfield as this shot was deflected wide. That's the Islanders lineups. The Blue Jackets lineups remain unchanged as this long shot was stopped. And a rebound in front! And Sorokin got that one too. Here are the Blue Jackets forwards as they're scrolling throughout the MSG screen. Mason Marchment, Adam Fantilli, Kirill Marchenko, Kent Johnson, Sean Monahan, Connor Garwin, Cole Sillinger, Charlie Coyle, Matthew Olivier, Lundstrom, Jenner, and Heinen. The defensemen for the Blue Jackets begin with Zach Werenski, with Damon Severson, Ivan Provorov on the second pairing next to Dante Fabro, and it's rounded out with Denton Matejchuk and Eric Goodbranson. Jet Greaves is in net, and here comes Horvat. 2-1, he scores! 85 seconds in, the Islanders on the board first. Bo knows how to score.
Oh, that was a nice move there. That was a nice move. The long outstretched pass. And Bo Horvat was alone. I'm surprised no one tried to skate toward him to at least create a little bit of pressure before he shot.
Yeah, that was Anders Lee who generated the breakout pass, Ian. That was a beautiful feed from the captain. He's going to be a free agent at the end of this season, and Islanders fans will love the captain to stay put on a reduced cap hit. That from $7 million per year, say $3 million per year would be more fair for a player of his age at 35 years old. Here is Schaefer. This kid's electric. Going up against another electric kid, Adam Fantilli. Came out of the Michigan Wolverines, who were the top overall seed in this year's Frozen Four tournament. The bracket's just been revealed. Michigan and Michigan State have claimed 1 seeds alongside North Dakota and Western Michigan. Down low goes Simon Holmstrom, who's wearing number 92 now. Made that trade with Braden Shen to give Shen number 10, who he's worn his career with St. Louis. Puck poked free. Here's a race for the puck, which is won by Adam Pelech. Mason Marchment still with it, but a good poke by the Islanders to give it to Schaefer, the runaway frontrunner for the Calder Trophy given to the NHL's Rookie of the Year. We are 2.5 minutes in. Bo Horvat, the only goal, assisted by Anders Lee. It's dropped from Shen to Barzal. Barzal cycles around the net. Drops back all the way for Soucy. His shot goes wide. Number 4 in blue. And back goes 83 in white, Connor Garwin. To Kent Johnson, another Michigan Wolverine, who had the golden goal for Canada in the World Juniors in their back-to-back gold medals. In front is Monahan. He got tied up by Barzal. A stick whip from Garwin on Barzal, but Barzal holds. He's one of the fastest forwards in the NHL. Dump and chase. First one there is, oh my goodness, Callum Ritchie. He got driven hard onto the boards by Damon Severson. He is down on his stomach. There is some motion on him, but he's in clear distress, and the medical staff has to come out. There is some movement. That was not pretty, Ian.
Yeah, he hit the top of his head, collided right into the boards. I'm seeing the replay now. I'm leaning towards incidental contact because Severson, maybe a quick look back, but he's looking to get. I think he's looking at the puck.
He was.
I don't know if he even. I don't think he even knew Ritchie was behind him, or if he did, don't know if he knew he was that close.
Well, Richie got up on his own power, and he was able to skate off onto the bench. That is the best news, Ian. He is moving, and he got onto the bench on his own power. So what you said, that is incidental contact. And I feel if he knew Richie was right behind, Severson was just trying to get out of the way. It's just an unfortunate tangle up.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, this is nothing like what we saw from A.J. Greer intentionally shoving Connor Zary onto the boards. It's another topic of discussion that we can go through with NHL player safety, as it's taken back by the Islanders near side by Holmstrom. Holmstrom driven around by Werenski. No, that's McLean, 32, not 92. Behind the net is Cizikas. Cizikas still with the stick on the puck. Gatcomb trying to dig it out there. And here's Holmstrom gives it back to Boquist. Boquist shot, blocked in front, and that looked to be Olivier. And that was blocked all the way to center ice. The Islanders have to restart. Fed up front, that is past Werenski, and Greaves has to get this back from the trapezoid. The retrieval by Severson onto Werenski. Team leader in points and looking to be team MVP for a second straight year. Chipped up for Sillinger. Cole Sillinger fires, and that's caught 5-hole by Sorokin with some assistance by Soucy, the former Seattle Kraken defender. And play stopped 3:45 into the first. There are head coaches, Rick Bowness for the Blue Jackets, Patrick Waugh for the Islanders, and Waugh said that instead the third period against the Canadiens, he pointed out the second period being the tipping point of the iceberg and when things fell apart. And instead of taking a 3-1 lead, the Islanders squandered 2 quick goals to the Canadiens to face a 3-2 deficit, while Schaefer tied it in the third. It was disaster in that third period. This puck is played, I think, of a high stick, so we'll get a face-off just outside the Islander zone. And I can't emphasize this enough, but Emil Heineman has been one of the best stories out of the Islanders this year. This is his first career 20-goal season. He was previously a middle six forward on the Canadiens, but he was involved in the Noah Dobson trade, and with the Islanders, he's found some life. His face-off is between Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Adam Fantilli. Won by Fantilli with help from Marchment. Up against Pageau, a native Ottawan. Remember, he scored 4 goals for the Senators Game 2 against the Rangers 2017 for his hometown team, including the double overtime winner. Puck is played to the Islander bench. And these two teams could breathe a little bit for now, knowing that the Penguins lost earlier today 5-1 to the Hurricanes. It's always got to be these Penguins-Hurricanes games in which it's a screenshot when SpongeBob is reading two pages of the book at the same time. Like, what do you want to root for on my end? Well, I can't root for both at the same time. Here's Heineman.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's always that moment. Poked ahead by Marchenko, trying to get away from Schaefer. Gives him a shove. It's tangled up at the left circle, but the right side. Sorokin was ready for Severson. He covers up. And Ilya Sorokin has been having himself a Vezina caliber season. He's testing the big cat, Andrei Vasilevsky, for the Vezina trophy. At this current rate, he has a GA of 259, save percentage of 911, and 6 shutouts on the season. 6 shutouts.
That is very good. By the way, is this Jack Reeves' first season?
Full-time.
As a full-time starter.
Yes, it's his first season as a full-time starter. And he's proved himself that he's won the crease over Columbus, over Elvis Merzlikins.
This is true.
Here's Tony DeAngelo to Braden Shen. Cycle down low for who I think is Simon Holmstrom, and cycle some more. Here's Soucy. Tried to center to Shen. That was off a Garwin stick. Soucy still has it. Retrieves it back to Barzal at the left point. Holmstrom down low. Simon Holmstrom got Jotso free. Holmstrom plays it to the near corner. Chopped away. Here is Shen to Barzal. Caught off by who I believe is Matejchuk. And here's Holmstrom. Nice move at the slot. He overskate that puck. Barzal has it. Looks to Soucy. Instead drops it off. Here's Barzal on a change. On towards the left side. Centering pass. And that could not be directed home. Kept in by Barzal. Towards the left circle. DeAngelo holding. Going to Soucy. Barely kept that in as it was barely out of his reach. Susie cycles around looking for Zizekas, out of his reach that time. Eric Goodbranson, the former Vancouver Canuck, former Florida Panther, gets this one out. Here is Adam Boquist who sends this back. Kyle McQueen on the chase. Ivan Provorov, the first defenseman there for Columbus. The Blue Jackets on the retrieve. Provorov from his own blue line. Fired inside to Sorokin's crease. Picked up by Boquist off the rebound. Away from Fantilli. From Pageau, this is delivered, tipped in front. And this will be Greaves on the retrieval. Backhands it away from McQueen. Onto Dante Fabro, the former Nashville Predator. Provorov fires this one around Sorokin. Give it away! Save Sorokin! Rebound! Blocked as well! That was Bo Horvat, the goal scorer for the Islanders, on the giveaway and with the only shot on goal. Columbus on the keep. This is Fabro. Up to the far corner. Could not be handled down by the Jackets and it's cleared out by Schaefer. Horvat waits and loads up for Pelech. Adam Pelech slows it down. Back hits it around. Heineman, the first one to the puck. Away from Fabro. Picked up by Horvat. Fires! Save Greaves by the glove. Here's Werenski. Zach Werenski slows play down. Goes to left circle for Fantilli. Loose stick on the ice. Fantilli! Sorokin there. Lundestrom picked it up. And this one cycled out of the zone. And the Blue Jackets had to race back for the puck. Severson on the retrieval. Give to Werenski. And up for Lundestrom. But give it away to Boquist. Greaves had it bounce off his stick to Werenski, who set things up behind his net to Lundestrom, the former Anaheim Duck. Across the red line, Danton Heinen gets sandwiched along the boards. Islanders trying to play it out as Mayfield gets tangled up. Andre Palat lifts this one to center ice, and this is stick further by the Blue Jackets all the way to Sorokin's net. Mayfield, no relation to Baker, gave it away to Lundestrom, stick lifted by Holmstrom. No relation to Tomas Holmstrom as Jean-Gabriel Pageau gets it up, and Andre Palat's on the chase down with Eric Goodbranson. From the near corner, here's Holmstrom. He'll wait and deliver back to D'Angelo. D'Angelo back skates. Now a long shot blocked in front. Through traffic by Boone Jenner, who'll pick it up. Jenner will take it one-on-one. Susie racing back. And Jenner will just fire this one down. Susie gets it away from Matejchuk to D'Angelo at the near corner. Tony D'Angelo spent 2 stints with the Carolina Hurricanes. This is his first go-around with the Islanders after several years with the New York Rangers. Barzal stops to the left circle. Barzal, he'll survey. Goes back towards the left point. Pelech, long shot. Directed through traffic. And this is played to Greaves, who catches it. And we go to break for the first time. The only goal from Bo Horvat. Assisted by Anders Lee. And Ilya Sorokin keeping this a 1-0 game.
So let's see here. We have. Actually, I want to point this out. Patrick Waugh's coaching stint with the Islanders. It's obvious that he's learned a couple of things because he is going a lot better than his coaching stint with the Avalanche. For those that remember, it did not go well.
I mean, good first year, but it all went downhill from there.
Yeah. Is it his first year with the Islanders?
Well, this is his 3rd year with the Islanders, but for those who remember, his first year with the Avalanche, his rookie year as a coach with them, he took them to an unexpected Central Division title, and it was Nathan McKinnon's rookie year. An Avalanche team that had the likes of Paul Stastny, Ryan O'Reilly, Matt Duchene, Tyson Barrie, Eric Johnson, and a prime Semyon Varlamov.
Wow. I didn't realize that roster was that stacked.
Oh yeah, and not to mention about, anyone remember the name P.A. Parento?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Well, he was part of that Avalanche team with Duchene, O'Reilly. Oh yeah, and Gabriel Landeskog, who was in his younger days back then.
Wow.
So currently, we have a duel between St. John's and Kansas. It is a 7-point game. St. John's with the lead, 62-55. And if all things hold, should St. John's hold on, they'll go to the Sweet 16 for some redemption from last year's loss at the hands of Arkansas. Two grade A saves for Ilya Sorokin as we're set to get back underway. Tennessee and Virginia are also dueling at the start of the second half. Some final scores from today: Purdue 79, Miami 69, Iowa State 82, Kentucky 63. This faceoff will come to the right of Greaves. It's won by New York. Heineman trying to help out. The Blue Jackets get it out. At center ice, it's moved up the far side. A little poke check, but the Jackets are able to hold. From the right circle, kick save Sorokin. Directed to the far corner. Columbus trying to hold his own. And they will. For a brief moment, D'Angelo with the help on the clear. But off the giveaway, this is Werenski getting tangled up back to his own zone by Lee. Up the far board, Sillinger, who is the son of Mike Sillinger, who played for both Columbus and the Islanders. Charlie Coyle. Coyle, that one bounced off of Olivier's skate. Sillinger on the hold, Olivier to Coyle. He's having our career renaissance with the Blue Jackets. Long shot, Severson through traffic. Islanders with some good bodies there to block those two shots. D'Angelo tried to clear it again. Columbus keeps it again. Left point, it's Werenski. Long shot blocked. This will exit out to the neutral zone. And the Jackets will reset. Werenski tried to direct it up to Coyle, but that bounced off his skate. The Jackets bring this back in. Garland, or rather Marchenko, tried to backhand it down low. Nobody was there. And now the Islanders are settled it back. Through the neutral zone, they dump it in. This one played to the mesh. 10:24 left. That was Matthew Schaefer. Now, among the best defensemen, very rarely do you see defensemen playing on their offside, but this is one of those rare times in which Matthew Schaefer is tasked with playing on his offside. That's because Ryan Pulock is out for tonight's game with a lower body injury. He and Anthony Duclair, they're both day-to-day. Face-off is at center ice, and it is a tie-up. Cizikas tried to kick it back, and he does to win this face-off. Schaefer in control. Moves it up for the far side, and negating the icing in his case, Cizikas almost ran himself into Jet Greaves. Play to Marchment, who came over via trade from Seattle. McQueen plays it back, and up through the far side on the dump-in are the Islanders. The Jackets trying to tie this game up at 1. Played in front, sent onto Greaves behind the crease. Provorov past the halfway mark of this first period. Up to Marchment. Mason Marchment tried to play this one through. He gets tangled up. Here's Fantilli, who'll dump it in. Is Michigan Wolverines in the Frozen Four tournament. Can't wait to see some battles here this Frozen Four. Those Wisconsin Badgers and Penn State Nittany Lions look like serious threats, but don't forget about the Denver Pioneers. Always a sneaky threat to make it far, and well coached by David Carl. Adam Boquist, the former Chicago Blackhawk, on the ice for the Islanders. Sparked this third period with Scott Mayfield, and Boquist is playing on his offside. 1-on-2, the Islanders take it in as waiting for options is Shen. He'll backhand it to Barzal at the near corner. Barzal is tied up. Cizikas is on the ice. He's yet to get off. Barzal, Cizikas, both tangled up. Good job by Matejchuk to get it away, but Shen's on the hold. D'Angelo puts on the shot, and Greaves, he had a body in front of him, able to hold on to it. Matt Barzal wanted to get the loose rebound, but there was none to be had, and it's still 1-0. On to the break with 8:57 left. Well, I know a lot of brackets have been busted, or the vast majority of brackets have already been busted. At this point, you can expect that there'll be no perfect brackets remaining.
No.
Yep, and as for Purdue over Miami of Florida, the man who led the way, Fletcher Lawyer, 24 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Trey Kaufman-Renn with 19 points and 9 rebounds. And Lawyer was a straight-up spot-up shooter in the paint, 6 of 7 points. His Lawyer did the job done. And Braden Smith with 8 assists. It was fully balanced out. Iowa State dominated Kentucky, and it was not even close. 82-63. And the man who led the way is Taman Lipsy. 26 points, 10 assists. With 5 steals to add on to it. Wow. Oh, and Kansas is trying to make a comeback on St. John's. They have cut it to within 1 with 2 minutes left. So watch out for this one. So at some point we'd love to go over through the Frozen Four bracket. The men's bracket has been revealed. The women's championship is, of no surprise, Wisconsin versus Ohio State. Those are the two best women's hockey programs in the NCAA. Among defensemen, Zach Werenski and Matthew Schaefer have 20 and 22 goals respectively. So Werenski is third and the goals leaderboard among defensemen. Schaefer is second. If you can guess who is the leader of goals among defensemen, it's Washington's Jacob Chikrin. Off this face-off, the Blue Jackets in control in their own zone. They get this one all the way down, and for the first time in this game, we can utter this word: icing. How about Matthew Schaefer? This kid's special. Oh, and breaking news out of Dallas, Ian. Wyatt Johnston has set a franchise record 23 power play goals in a single season.
Jeez.
Face-off won by the Islanders in the offensive zone. Same guy shot. Stopped by Greaves. Rebound and control by Werenski. Werenski plays it up front. Onto the near side. Sillinger. Burst of speed. Gets stick lifted by Holmstrom. Taken on back by Barzal. On for Shen. Holmstrom could not deflect it through. Kept in by D'Angelo. He was looking for Shen. Played in the near corner. Still in play. It's still in the zone by Barzal. Holmstrom with it. Scoring 2 game winners against the Blue Jackets in this regular season series. He's tied up. Coyle's there. Barzal joins in on the board battle. Play to Shen. Away from Provorov. Shen to the point. Here's D'Angelo. Play to Holmstrom. Whiffed on the one-timer. Greaves played away. On to Provorov now. The former Flyer. Sillinger plays it out onto the neutral zone. And here's D'Angelo with it. Carson Soucy. Both teams making changes. And Soucy's off to the bench. D'Angelo will be the last man off for the Islanders. Still taking his time with this puck, as he is set to pass it soon enough. He will. On the near side, Adam Boquist. D'Angelo will come on up for Scott Mayfield as an offsides against the Islanders. So Simon Holmstrom has emerged in a middle six role with the Islanders after he was bouncing around the lineup in the Lou Lamoriello years, but it's a breath of fresh air in Long Island. The players are now allowed to grow beards. That's a breath of fresh air. Which, to be honest, with I know Lou Lamoriello is one of the greatest general managers of all time, though Matthew Darche is a breath of fresh air in the front office. Far corner, Gatcombe gets pinned. Zizekas, near corner, tried to center, he gave it away. Zizekas fights to keep this puck, but got outmatched. The Blue Jackets in control at the Islander zone. Here is Boone Jenner. One-timer from the right point. And Zizekas with the block. Foot race for the puck, which will be won by Severson. Away from Gatko. Severson has Werenski to his left, decides to pass it on the front for Lundestrom. Isaac Lundestrom has Kirill Marchenko to the left. Marchenko drives behind the net, driven by Schaefer away from the crease. And Schaefer pins Marchenko at that far half boards. Cleared out. And this will not be, or actually it will be an icing. As the Blue Jackets on is going to go just enough and just crossing the icing line. Schaefer is doing everything for the Islanders on the defensive core. Offense, defense, you name it. Still, it's 1-0 New York. The lone goal from Bo Horvat. 6:56 left. Horvat to take this face-off. He is faced up against Adam Fantilli. No changes because of the icing. So our referees for this game are Frederick Lecuyer and Carter Sandlak, Leisman, Lieber Chukanik, and Johnny Murray. Off the tie, here's Marchenko. And just got a good look off of it. There was a stick in the way that altered that shot. Played out onto the Islander bench. Up front, here's Schaefer. 6 block shots by the Islanders on this game. The Blue Jackets with 2. Here's Mayfield. Overskate the puck, and here's Marchment taking it 1-on-2. Waits for help. He'll go to Marchenko. at the near corner, directed away by Mayfield. Islanders have it. Up the near side, Horvat lost control of it as this bounced off his stick. Horvat with the pin on the near corner. Up to Marchenko, tried to play it out. And that was way over Adam Pelech's head, so it could not be gloved down. And Schaefer will force the icing, so that's good news for the Islanders. To get a face-off, and good thing that Cal Ritchie is all right after that incidental contact with Damon Severson. He's just scooted that right down the bench. We have yet to see him on the ice yet. Haven't heard much from him. But the Islanders will take it slow. The Blue Jackets win this faceoff. Oh, this is going to be a penalty. I think this went out of play as this was attempt to get cleared from the defensive zone. They wanted to use the boards to clear it down. It would have been icing that way, but the Blue Jackets saw this one go over the boards, not deflected. This is going to be a penalty for delay of game. And Schaefer knew it. He saw that puck go over it. It's going to be against the rookie defenseman, Denton Mateychuk. 2 minutes. Mateychuk this year, 11 goals, 28 points in his debut season with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's one of their highly touted prospects this season. Entering this season, that is. Horvat wins the draw. Here's Schaefer, the lead power play quarterback on the special teams. And Ritchie's back on the ice as the net front presence. Ritchie to the front! And would that be something? Instead, he sent it wide. Schaefer, nice move around Coyle. He'll move to the left side for Ritchie. Or rather, that's Barzal. He missed the pass to Schenn, but Schenn finds Schaefer. Schenn, one-timer off of Schaefer, and that one wide. Good job by the Blue Jackets to get it out off of Schaefer's stick. Schenn will reset. Matthew Schaefer will look to have this set up from Matt Barzal. He'll drop it, and here he comes. That blistering speed is going to be something to watch. Left side for Horvat. And this went off of Ritchie's stick, mishandled, and the Blue Jackets get it out a second time. 50 seconds gone here on the Islander power play. Schaefer will start up with this. Matthew Schaefer to the far side. Bo Horvat to Matt Barzal. Of course, he's going to speed up, and Schaefer gets taken down. Is there an arm up in the air? We don't see any, and Barzal still has it, still with it. And this is a lob pass for Schaefer. And Boone Jenner trying to get this one down. We stay 5-on-4. Delivered down onto the near corner. On extra pass, Greaves the save. The Jackets do get it out, and both teams will change their units. Sorokin comes out of his crease to play this one for the second power play quarterback, Tony DeAngelo. DeAngelo on the drop back. Simon Holmstrom on the activation up the near side. Offside is signaled with 24 seconds left. And Anders Lee's not happy with Cole Sillinger. There's a crowd here. Emil Heineman had his helmet knocked off of him. And you don't need that happening here in the middle of a power play. If you're Columbus, if you were to be the one taking off Heineman's helmet. So the offside. Oh yeah, there was a tangle between Anders Lee and I think that's Isaac Lundestrom. Yeah, Matthew Schaefer got tangled up by Lundestrom, and it could have been easily an interference penalty on the Blue Jackets. And we talked about the extra pass from Bo Horvat to Braden Schenn. That was a beautiful setup from Horvat to set the Islanders on a grade A look for a second goal. They have to stop the bleeding in third periods because that's been happening a lot in recent years, dating back to the Lane Lambert days. St. John's just won against Kansas, by the way. DeAngelo on the dump and off the face-off win. At the far half boards, the Blue Jackets do get this out. This will be sent all the way to the near corner. Sorokin will play this one out. 10 seconds left. DeAngelo has one last chance with this puck. Doesn't see an opening. He'll slowly take this. Wait his time of it. And out of the box, in a second now, is Mateychuk, and we're back to even strength. Sean Monahan, we haven't mentioned his name a lot of times so far. He places one up. 4 minutes to go here in the first period. The only goal coming in 85 seconds from Bo Horvat. Mason Marchment turned it over to Carson Soucy, who is in trouble. That pass changed direction over to Adam Fantilli. Right point. Severson and now Werenski. Werenski directs it behind it at Fantilli. Lost it, and here's Gatcomb. Mark Gatcomb plays it off the far boards. Kyle McQueen, the first Islander to the puck. He gets brought down by Werenski on a low body check. This wrister was deflected wide. The Blue Jackets pick it up. Gatcomb in pursuit. The far half boards. Marchenko lost it. Islanders pick it up. It's behind the net. Played over to the far half boards. Still in play by McQueen. Looking for Cizikas. Severson checked him up. Scott Mayfield on the keep. Severson with it. He spins and turns away with it, sending it to Marchenko. Cizikas there. Marchenko able to get it out. Schaefer got stick lifted, but not his teammate. In control, it is Pageau to Schaefer. Schaefer around the near half boards. He'll rim it around over to Shen. Barzal will look it through. That pass intended back for Shen, but able to hold it is Schaefer. Here's Boquist, redirected, but that's why he was looking for Shen. Kept in by the Islanders. Back towards the left point, Barzal to Soucy. Braden Shen got tied up. The Blue Jackets with it. Zach Werenski's been out there for 100 seconds. He'll have to get to the bench soon now. Danton Hine in pursuit. Matched up by Adam Boquist, and now Werenski's at the bench. Boone Jenner played it free. Onto the right point. Mishandled by Fabro. 2:23 left in the first period. Fabro has it. In control. Across the red line. Sends it in deep. Over to Soucy. He'll pick it up. First Islander there. Islanders trying to clear. They have a control of it. It is picked up by Heineman over to Tony DeAngelo. DeAngelo fires. And that's stopped by Greaves. 2 minutes left. Horvat on the keep. On the near half boards. Heineman there. The Blue Jackets get it out. This is picked up now by Adam Boquist. Or Scott Mayfield, excuse me. Hounded down by Connor Garwin. Got it free to Boquist. Up the middle. Has an option towards the left side as Anders Lee. He'll stop in the left circle. One-timer Heineman. Kick save, Greaves. Lee's on the keeper at the far half boards. Play to Horvat. Open man Mayfield. Right point. Snaps a shot. Greaves saw that through traffic. And he'll hold with 92 seconds left. 1-0. The shot board is even apiece at 7. Some dangerous chances for the Islanders as of late. And that's the most productive we've seen. And accounting for the Horvat goal. We'll be right back.
Okay, so if we look at this right now, if results were to hold, the Islanders, I believe, well, here's what they do for sure. They overtake Detroit in the wild card. I don't know if they overtake Columbus in the Metropolitan.
We'll have to take a look at this later, but your final from San Diego, St. John's 67, Kansas 65. And leading the way for St. John's was Bryce Hopkins and Zuby Ejiofor with 18 points each. They both combined for 16 rebounds, Ejiofor with 9 of them. To go with his 4 assists, Hopkins with 2 steals. As of right now, Tennessee has the lead over Virginia. And as we look at the standings as we know it right now, the Islanders are the first team out of the Eastern Conference playoff race. They would overtake the Red Wings. The Blue Jackets hold tiebreaker based on games in hand. So no, they would not overtake the Blue Jackets.
I see.
It's 1 game in hand. So, back on January 12th, the Blue Jackets were dead last in the Metro. Now they're 3rd in the Metro. Just a point behind the Penguins, who lost in regulation, which helps the Blue Jackets and Islanders' cases. And you can add the Red Wings to this, but injuries to Dylan Larkin and John Gibson are hurting them severely.
Yeah. I just don't think without Larkin, I don't think they have the horses for that final push.
Right circle, With 82 seconds, it is Columbus. Fired wide. Here's Werenski on the keep. Mason Marchment tangled up by Schaefer, who stick lifted him. Schaefer trying to clear. He does. Blue Jackets still have it. Werenski from his own zone steps in front. Holmstrom in pursuit. Stick lifts him. He's going to take this one-on-one. Werenski behind him. Severson tangles him up. We're in the last minute of the first period. Blue Jackets trying to tie. Cleared out onto the far half boards, but not out. But now it's out onto the neutral zone as Marchenko has to dance around Jean-Gabriel Pageau. Offside against the Jackets as Charlie Coyle got a step ahead. So meanwhile, in March Madness, Tennessee is up on Virginia, nearing the halfway mark on the second half, 54-48. And past the halfway mark of the first half, Iowa is leading the reigning national champion Florida Gators. Coyle and Horvat on the faceoff. Horvat wins it. It'll be picked up by Carson Soucy. Soucy around the near side. Almost turned over to Provorov. This will be played onto the far corner by Olivier. 32 seconds left. Now it's back for Sillinger. Cole Sillinger goes point to point. Goodbranson a long shot. Sorokin saw it away. Had Coyle and Olivier in front. 26.4 left. So next up, we'll have a discussion about the recent development and the how do they pronounce the DOPS, Department of Panther Safety?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's clear this is more than just Florida Panthers bias. 22 seconds remaining, and this is gloved down by Soucy, but could not hang on to it. Islanders play it onto the right circle. Zizekas hounds down Werenski. 13 seconds left, and this will be gloved down by the Islanders for one last push. Up the far half boards, played to Gapcombe, far corner. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Tango up, still at that corner. Marchenko and Fantilli trying to poke it free, and they'll leave it there to end the first period. Bo Horvat has the only goal. And that stands the assist to Anders Lee. And that ends 20 minutes of action. So now, George Parros.
It wasn't. It couldn't have just been Racco Gudis.
It,
You know.
AJ Greer. Man, this is just so infuriating.
Yeah.
Yes, just to witness. Because that hit could have easily paralyzed Connor Zary.
Easily.
Oh my good. Yeah, that could have easily ended his playing career. And that should have warranted an in-person hearing. I'll tell you, Brendan Shanahan would have thrown the book at Greer for a hit like that. That was intentional, and it was completely avoidable on Greer's part. Just pin the man. You don't have to use excessive force on him.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, not only is George Parros showing clear Panther bias, he's showing that with his latest president, he has no idea how to run the job. But also, he doesn't take this seriously at all. Not to mention this. Eric Tolsky and Tom Dundon have been very vocal about player safety and to the heads of players, wanting to protect them. What's worsifying this is that all of the other 31 GMs, including Bill Zito himself, just stood there being complicit. Mike, it's just unbelievable. Well, on a lighter note, we'll go over the bracket for the Frozen Four. So the teams have just been revealed and where they're going to be at. So the Albany Regional consists of the following matchups. The Michigan versus Bentley. and Minnesota Duluth versus Penn State. So that's the Albany Regional. So those are 4 of those teams. The Sioux Falls Regional has the second overall seed North Dakota going up against Merrimack, and Providence going up against Quinnipiac. The third overall seed Michigan State is in the Worcester Regional. They'll face UConn, while Dartmouth will face Wisconsin in the other matchup in the Worcester Regional. The fourth overall seed and reigning champion Western Michigan, they are in the Loveland Regional. They are facing Minnesota State. The other matchup is Denver versus Cornell. Those are your matchups in the regional semifinals, entering the Frozen Four. The Albany Regional, the Albany and Loveland Regionals will be played on the 27th and 29th of March. The Worcester and Sioux Falls Regionals will be played on the 26th and the 28th. The Frozen Four and the National Championship will be at T-Mobile Arena at Las Vegas, Nevada. Of note, this is the first time that Minnesota has missed the dance since 2019, and we will get neither one of Boston College and Boston University in the tournament as a whole. They have both missed the tournament. Two major participants of the Beanpot tournament have missed it. Boston University ranked 18th in the final rankings. Boston College 14th. So they both missed the dance. While UConn, who made the tournament for the first time last year, makes it for a second straight season. But what would the thrill level be like if the national championship in ice hockey is Michigan versus Michigan State? That would be something special.
Four words. Batten down the hatches.
That would be an all-out war in the national championship if it is Michigan versus Michigan State.
You might actually... You might actually see the state of Michigan. There will be a civil war. There will be a civil war. That is what is going to happen if it's Michigan State and Michigan.
There will be. But,
and any caught in between will not survive.
Yeah. And Western Michigan, the reigning national champions, are just going to grab their popcorn. Just, oh my goodness.
Guys, what did we say? What did we say after the 70s? You can do almost anything. Just, please, on everything we love, please do not burn the state to the ground.
Just don't. I advise you do not burn the state to the ground.
Not again, please.
Yeah, we would not. I mean, the entire state would not survive in such a national championship. I mean, you're gonna give Gretchen Whitmer a heart attack.
You're gonna. Well, you're also. You're gonna get players wanting to kill each other, coaches wanting to kill each other. If it happened, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if a Michigan fan and a Michigan State fan somehow climbed onto the ice and started having their own version of a hockey fight.
Oh, this is beautiful. Oh man.
Jeez, now I want it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, you know what? Screw it. That's my official prediction. Michigan versus Michigan State in the national championship. It's so poetic that I want it to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So on this bracket, I have the regional semis being Michigan versus Penn State, Western Michigan versus Denver, North Dakota versus Quinnipiac, and Michigan State versus Wisconsin. I think the Frozen Four is going to be Michigan versus Denver and Michigan State versus Quinnipiac. Oh, man. It's just going to be cinema, this entire tournament. Oh, man. You can almost taste it. And Wisconsin in women's hockey has just won back-to-back championships, their fifth since 2019. It's a dynasty, which is continuing on with Wisconsin Badger women's hockey.
Wow.
Oh, and one of the heroes of the U.S. women's hockey, Kirsten Sims, was one of the goal scorers in the national semifinals. Another championship to Madison. And shout out to Mark Johnson, the head coach at the Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team, that he's built a championship winning culture, and that experience from the Miracle on Ice paid off big time dividends. This is 22nd season being the coach with the Wisconsin women's hockey team. He's the most successful head coach in women's hockey in college. It's his alma mater too. And we have some gold medalists, a litany of gold medalists on this roster at the Wisconsin women's hockey team. Caroline Harvey, the team captain, Layla Edwards, the assistant captain, and Kirsten Sims, their star forward, and their star goaltender Ava McNaughton was part of that goaltender room with Aaron Frankel. There's some others coming up. Rhea Stewart, who's a freshman, is next in line to take the crease once McNaughton goes to the PWHL, which I think is going to happen. Yeah, Lacey Eden, who did not make the Olympic squad, she won the championship with this club. So congratulations to the women's hockey team at Wisconsin. So we'll take a look at some of the previous scores here in the NHL. So earlier today, we saw the Winnipeg Jets win in a shootout 3-2 over the Rangers. The Jets somehow are still alive in the Western playoff hunt.
Yeah, that just goes. I don't know who it's going to be, but the Stanley Cup champion is going to come from the Eastern Conference. I know about the Avalanche. I know about the Wild. I know about the Stars. But the East as a whole, their teams are just so much better. From 1 through 8, basically. You look at the teams. You look at the teams that hold playoff spots in the West. It is a revolving door. The Pacific Division
is a circus.
It is a circus. Actually, no. It's a carousel because it always seems like there's someone new joining in, and then whoop, they're off. You know, oh, ride's done. Time to get off the horse.
Yep.
But you got the East. I mean, we just said it. The Islanders are the ninth seed and are on the outside looking in, and they're not scrubs.
They're not.
They're not scrubs. It's just amazing. It's just the Blue Jackets have found their form again, and from 1 through 8, you've got elite, great, very good. I'm putting Detroit as very good because they have some very, very, very exploitable flaws.
And they're winning because of defense.
Yeah, and they're winning, yes. But there is... But the West... I mean, the fact that the Winnipeg Jets, a team that should have no business being anywhere near the playoffs with how inconsistent they've been with their roster construction, with the fact that they're hanging by the edge, by their fingernails on a free fall, basically, into the doldrums of the abyss. And yet they're 5 points away from a wild card spot.
Yeah, and Nashville were selling at the deadline too. What do you mean they have the second wild card spot in the West?
Wait, what?
The Nashville Predators.
Oh my! By 3 points.
This conference is so sad.
Alec, I can't. And hold on. I don't get it. I really don't understand. I don't understand why this is happening. What? The Nashville Predators, the failure of the offseason or the champions of the offseason to the failures of the season last season, with pretty much the same roster, right?
Much of the same roster. And they're still alive.
And they're still alive. And I don't know. Did you say Saros find his form, or is some goalie that was thrown into the pile of the forgotten like a Mackenzie Blackwood, even though he's on the Avalanche? But you know, who is their netminder? Is it still Saros?
It's still Saros. Steven Stamkos has come alive. Philip Forsberg has come alive, and Ryan O'Reilly has a renaissance of his career.
Okay, that makes sense, but it's not all Saros. Who's their backup?
Justus Onanen.
I don't. Respectfully, I don't even know that name. I don't know that name. Is he new or is he a veteran?
He once played as a first stringer for the Avalanche, but he's relatively younger.
Okay, that makes sense. But they are the ones holding the wild card. Well, you know, with the Kings being the 9th seed, I can kind of see why. Look, we all know what he did for the Empire, but Ken, it's time.
Just hang it up already.
Just hang it up. You're giving 4 years, $4.5 million a year to Cody Ceci to play defense.
next to Brian Dumoulin.
Enough said there. And the fact of the matter is, maybe, no, not the fact of the matter. If I recall correctly, Alec, those two on the same pairing and 30-something-year-old Drew Doughty is one of their most productive defensemen.
That's trouble.
That is trouble. Because if I hang on, I need to look this up to be sure before we get back. Or is the feedback?
Well, we are back, but you can look it up in the meantime. Yeah, once we get to a stoppage, you can let me know about what is exactly going up with the Kings. We are a minute into the second period. Jet Greaves, he made a glove save on a point shot that was deflected by Matt Barzal. Good job seeing that. Off this faceoff, Provorov wasted to Fabro. Columbus in control. We're past the first minute of the second period. On to minute number 2. Behind the net, it is Ilya Sorokin playing it to Carson Soucy, or rather Matthew Schaefer. He's being chased from behind by who would believe that is Mason Marchment, and Schaefer sends this in. Greaves plays it behind, over to the far half board, sent down the distance for an icing as Schaefer was the first one back. So, about those Kings. Oh my goodness. So one of the final scores, 5-1, Carolina. Winnipeg 3-2 over the Rangers in a shootout. The Avalanche did win 3-2 in overtime over the Capitals. And the Predators 3-2 in overtime over the Blackhawks. Face off one by the Islanders. Here is Pageau. Cycle this one around. He'll send this in on goal. And this is just stopped by Greaves. So you found it? So we'll get another face-off to the left of Greaves. 8 shots apiece between the Blue Jackets and the Islanders. The Islanders have had good control at the face-off dot. They win their 15th face-off. This shot's kicked out by Greaves. Held in by Pellick left point. One-timer right circle. Another kick saved by Greaves. Near corner again. Played over to the high slots. Holmstrom skied this one. Held by Schaefer again. These rebounds have been in control of the Islanders. Not for long, though, as the Blue Jackets do get this one out as Schaefer misplayed it. He wanted Pageau on the pass. He'll pick it up again from his own zone. Schaefer, near side for Palat. Acquired from the Devils. In the trade deadline for Maxim Siplikov. Provorov turned it over to Ritchie. Holmstrom trying to play this one out of traffic. Sean Monahan there, he gets it out. Boquist to Scott Mayfield. On his offside, got it in deep. Greaves playing this one far side. Could not be held in by Boquist. Racing back is Mayfield to beat out the approaching Blue Jacket. It's collected up by Connor Garwin now away from Boquist. The Blue Jackets looking to tie it up. Long shot for the blue line. It is pinballed around for the crease. The Blue Jackets still in control. Monahan, left point. Matejchuk in trouble for the left point. Ritchie there. Cycled this one around for Kent Johnson. Johnson looks back. Instead, he backhands it down low for Monahan. Monahan got shoved off. Connor Garwin away from Scott Mayfield. Cal Ritchie sends it down the ice. Sticked away by Gabranson. Islanders have it. Not for long, though, as it's played for the approaching Blue Jacket. And that's going to be a 2-minute man on the ice penalty. Late substitution by the Blue Jackets. Oh, my goodness. The late suspension is there for A.J. Greer. And that's the point that we made at the beginning of the intermission, Ian, about how the Department of Panthers safety doesn't take their job seriously at all. 3-game suspension for Greer. It is a phone hearing, not in person. No 2-minute man on the ice penalty. The linesmen shut that off. So this faceoff is won by the Islanders. The faceoff was outside of their zone. They'll move it up far side onto the bench. Oh, my goodness. You can't even be serious with this.
No. And with that, I mean, Alec, can you imagine could you imagine the outrage that the Penguins were? Because it's the Panthers, right? Greer still plays for the Panthers.
Yeah, he still plays for the Panthers. Puck out of plate, but still.
Could you imagine if the NHL or much less the Pittsburgh Penguins were this lenient with a guy like Matt Cook?
The outrage would have been... yeah, we would have gone the same outrage there. And honestly, I would have gone outrage too. Even if it's one of my own guys.
Yeah.
And for the Panther diehards who obviously... for the Panther diehards who disagree with this suspension, I feel bad for them because had it not been for the back-to-back Stanley Cups, this would have been in the headlines that the Panthers would be at with the season of... It's the season from hell they're getting.
Yeah.
Here is Columbus back the other way, as it's directed through the near side by Lundestrom. Sorokin playing this back. Lundestrom instead decides to go for his change. He peeked at Schaefer for a bit. Schaefer's waiting for the fresh guys to get on the ice. He and Pelech are out there. Matthew Olivier watching. Now Schaefer starts. Goes one way, now going the other. Horvat, Pelech, chops this one off the boards. Swing and a miss on the clear attempt. Now the second effort is backed up. Coyle using the boards to get around through Pelech, but Pelech adjusts his trajectory. Schaefer. Anders Lee trying to dig this one out behind the crease. Sillinger got it to the right point for Severson. Long blast! And that's wide the net. Another try. Wide too. Olivier picks it up. And the trapezoid setting up from Gretzky's office. Mishandled the puck is replayed by Emil Heineman. No relation to the Blue Jays' Tyler Heineman. They're both from different countries. Sent back onto the Columbus blue line. They play this one to Sorokin. He'll get this one out for Pelech. Pelech with Sillinger at his face. Schaefer. Coyle watching. Far corner, and Pelech will be the one taking his time with the puck as fresh guys get on the ice. Marchenko the one watching, and here's Schaefer. Has to get off the ice soon enough. Sending this one up for the far side. Matejchuk gets the first one to the puck, but plays it to the approaching Islander Pageau. Palat. He is down low at the trapezoid. Pageau on the hole near corner. Matejchuk played this one out for Marchenko. Rushing to it is Holmstrom. From the far corner, the Islanders can't keep this one alive, and it's way above them. Pageau will have it. Carson Soucy using the boards to send this one up for Palat. Trying to feed it through traffic. Too many Blue Jackets in the way. Now up to the near corner. Soucy the first one back. He plays it away from two Blue Jackets. On through Palat. Misplayed it. Goodbranson couldn't hold it. Matejchuk could. Around the corners. Collected by Palat, who gets sandwiched by Goodbranson at the right point. Now up for the neutral zone. Here's Pageau. On the right side. D'Angelo waits. Now with a return feed. Tried to tuck it past Greaves. Could not do so. Adam Fantilli on the way back. Through the far side. Sends this one up for Mason Marchment. Up the zone. Offside. Connor Garland was 5 steps too far. So we are 13:43 left in the second period. Still, the only goal coming 85 seconds in from Bo Horvat. So as we go into the break-in, have you found anything about the Kings?
Well, I was about to make I had to be sure. I was going to make a clever quip that Eric and Branson had done more for the Jackets than CC had done for the Kings. That was not true. So stay on that. But the point still stands. Ken Holland's tale as a GM. Yes. Okay. He got. I forget. Was it Stan Bowman that got the Oilers to both Stanley Cups, or did Ken Holland get them to one?
Holland got them to 1. Bowman got them to the 2nd.
Okay, so Ken Holland got them to 1. Ken Holland's case is a lot like someone that you would know, or that you would know about.
Jim Rutherford?
Yes, you knew exactly where I was going. A man that needed to retire way earlier, and that way he'd go out on top. A hero to the city. And don't get me wrong, both men's legacies and resumes, the accomplishments cannot be understated, but their failures cannot be overstated. If Ken Holland steps aside to make room for Yzerman back I think it was after 2009 when the Pens beat the Wings in the cup for the cup, or was it? Or
Yeah, that was 2009.
Yeah, but maybe it was a little bit after when Yzerman was being looked at to replace Ken Holland. I mean, think about it. Holland steps aside. Yzerman takes over. Now, granted, the first few years Yzerman was with the Lightning, there were a lot of growing pains because the Lightning just weren't that good. There wasn't an established base. But with Yzerman and his vision for talent, because that man can draft talent. For example, imagine the Detroit Red Wings with whatever roster construction, but your goalie is Andrei Vasilevsky.
If only that pick wasn't traded away for Kyle Quincy, if you remember that.
That's right. That pick traded away for Kyle Quincy, except he's a Red Wing. Andrei Vasilevsky is a Red Wing. The Red Wings today they could have been. You know what they could have been? They could have been hockey's better. They could have been sports' better version of the San Antonio Spurs, and they were already like the San Antonio Spurs. But they could have been better with more championships. Because Yzerman just had a vision for that. But, I understand what Holland was trying to do. It just
backfired
immensely. And truth be told, it's still backfiring for them.
Yeah, with Yzerman at the GM room now, kind of.
No, just the mistakes that Ken Holland made, because it took a long time for that prospect pool
to get back up to form.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sebastian Cossa and Trey Augustine may be on the way soon enough. Right. Ooh, big hit at the far corner. We already see incidental contact from Cal Ritchie. This time it's Danton Heinen getting hit at that far corner. He had some pushing and shoving earlier in the second period as the Islanders looking to re-enter into the zone. They will. Take it slowly. It's Gatcomb who fired it directly onto Greaves' glove. And we have some more. Dante Fabro and Ivan Provorov are ganging up on Mark Gatcomb. Kyle McQueen steps into it. No gloves dropped. But the intensity of this game is starting to ramp up, Ian.
Yeah.
So there are chances to fire seeing eye shots, and Gatcomb just fired it right onto Greaves, and then afterwards some stick taps on Provorov. The Jackets took exception to that. Oh my goodness. The fourth line's trying to get some shots right onto Greaves. They try to twist this momentum up. And right onto the Islanders' favor again because here in the second period, not a lot of shots. That's just the first shot on goal for the Islanders. In this period, the Blue Jackets with only 2. Right, the fourth line is on the bench now. McQueen, Cizikas, Gatcomb. You remember from the old days, it used to be Matt Martin, Cizikas, and Cal Quarterbrook, who's now a broadcaster on MSG for the Islanders. Lee tried to throw it to the front of the net. Nobody was there. Pelech on the hole near half boards, looking for Lee to deflect it. Horvat, far corner, looks back for Lee. Lee wanting to get the return feed. Gabranson was there. Heineman jumps in at the trapezoid. M.O. Heineman and Anders Lee battling for this loose puck. Still, it's up for grabs. Charlie Coyle trying to get it out. He digs it through. And Adam Pelech keeping this puck battle alive. Neither team has had a clear hold of this puck. So much pushing and shoving. You think that there's going to be some more shoving after the whistle soon enough. But Charlie Coyle has it on the firm grasp. Bouncing up through center, Mason Marchment taking it in onto the right point. Marchment tried to deliver it back. Schaefer was there. Schaefer got a stick on that pass, and Bo Horvat will lead the way back. Heineman will deflect it forward. Schaefer trying to get the entry. No queen entry, and Heineman looking to make a change. He will, and the Blue Jackets taking this into the Islander zone. Van Tilly to Severson in front, and that pass was blocked, looking for that deflection. The Islanders play this one up. The Blue Jackets in control of Marchenko. Damon Severson across the ice over to, I think it's Zach Werenski. It is number 8 in white. Blue Jackets in the white, Islanders in the blue. Those are jersey combinations. And here it is moved up for Werenski as he dumps it down the far side. Pelech's the first one back. He's been out there for 100 seconds now. Islanders trying to play this one out. Pelech has to get a change fast and soon. Can't do so now. The Blue Jackets still with this. Up the far side as Andre Palat goes off. Their side now is Werenski, who sends this back for Sillinger. Werenski on one hand through Susi. Islanders read that pass as Jean-Gabriel Pageau trying to get this one out across the ice. Looking for Werenski. Pelech's still out there, having played 2 minutes on a shift. Cal Ritchie. Susi doesn't have a stick. This puck juggled up, and Cal Ritchie has to dump it down. Held inside. No, it wasn't. On the foot race, Simon Holmstrom trying to stick with the approaching Blue Jacket. He does. And that allows Pelech to sub out. He's dead tired as Tony DeAngelo will start up for Scott Mayfield. Deflected up by Ritchie and taking this one down over to Provorov. Ivan Provorov shoves his man aside. Braden Shen is also there. Matt Barzal gets it to the left point. Tony DeAngelo. Barzal, right side. Mayfield fires. That went off a skate. The Blue Jackets want to clear. They will move it up 2-on-2 with Monahan. Sean Monahan sandwiched by DeAngelo with this puck, and the Islanders clear. Blue Jackets trying to get it back with Connor Garwin. Flipped it over opposite side of the ice. 8:45 left in the second. Only goal from Bo Horvat. Right around back is DeAngelo. DeAngelo backhands it over to Mayfield from it and behind his own net. Moved up for the middle, and here comes the speed of Barzal. Off the far side, pirouetting around Matejchuk. Behind it at DeAngelo. Looks to set up towards the point. He does to Schaefer. Long shot. Misses target. And that will land out of play with 8:25 left to go in the second period. Still, it is 1-0 Islanders. We'll be right back. And here's the game for crucial playoff positioning. The Stars can clinch with at least 1 point against the Golden Knights. 2-2 is our current scoreline. Goals from Braden McNabb and Ivan Barbashev for the Knights. Wyatt Johnston and public enemy number 1 at the moment in Edmonton, Justin Hritskowian, whose brother Dylan just signed an entry-level contract with the Stars. And Justin had the second goal for Dallas. Did you see that clip of him stick tapping several guys on the Oilers bench? That's some form of rage baiting.
Oh my God! What a... So, I think it may actually break Canada hockey if this has to happen, but there may come a time where we get a Austin Matthews and arrow-wasted video from Steve Dangle, and then somebody, Oilers fan or not, is going to make the same video about Connor McDavid.
Or should I say McDry and arrow-wasted.
Yeah.
Because I know you texted me about the Austin Matthews and arrow-wasted possible video. Alright, so there are 4 teams that Rick Bowen has served as a head coach for at least 100 games in his coaching career. The Dallas Stars, the Winnipeg Jets, the Ottawa Senators, and the New York Islanders are those 4 teams. And this is the expansion Ottawa Senators that we were talking about, where he was one of the first coaches in the franchise's history, if not the first coach, last I remember. Face off won by the Islanders as we come back into play. Long shot wide. And the Columbus Blue Jackets looking to get this out, which they do. Olivier tipping this one to himself, has Pelech on his face. Delivers it back to Coyle. Pelech, pinned by Olivier. Trying to dig it out is Marchman, who got it there for Olivier. Behind the net, Olivier could not set her up front. Nobody was in the slot. Anders Lee taking this one back, sends it down deep. Emil Heineman in pursuit. He shoves his man behind the crease. Dante Fabro backhanding this one out with help from Olivier. And the Islanders will reset. Moved up the far side. And the Islanders take this back in. Horvat drops. Schaefer fires. Kick save. And Greaves dangerously places with a stick, but able to get this one out through the air. Tony DeAngelo on the right side over to Schaefer. He'll hold. Stick lifted, but keeping a hold of it. Schaefer delivers it back once the Islanders got checked. DeAngelo, spin move. Right around to the left circle. Now pirouettes twice. DeAngelo towards the right point. Schaefer again. Fires this one through traffic. Kick saved by Greaves. Kept inside by the Islanders. Wide of Anders Lee. The Jackets will go back. Sent down deep by Heinen. And Sorokin will play this one over. He's been struggling since the Olympics, Sorokin. But he's been sharp in this game, getting back on his groove. The Islanders will look to get back on track. Adam Boak was replacing the injured Ryan Pulock. Kyle McQueen in for the injured Anthony Duclair. Zach Werenski in control behind his crease. In the pursuit is Kyle McQueen. Send this one over to the far side, and Carson Soucy turned it over. Isaac Lundestrom got bumped off the puck by Casey Zizekas, who's been all over this puck. Soucy got his stick onto Boone Jenner. The rebound free off the initial save. Werenski shot. Walked in front. Through traffic. The rebound still there. Islanders clear it, but not out. Severson on the hold to Werenski. Werenski activates up. Watched by McQueen. Goes right around deep. And over to Sillinger. Cole Sillinger. Damon Severson. Sillinger got bumped by Gatcomb. Staying 5-on-5. No arm up. Boquist away from Marchenko. McQueen got it out. Werenski playing it over to Severson. Werenski got whacked by Zizekas. Marchenko takes it back in. Down the right circle. He cuts behind the net. Marchenko around through Boquist. Severson. He's still out there. Opposite side for Werenski. Werenski goes back for Fantilli. Adam Fantilli goes around towards the near half boards for Marchenko. Marchenko towards the right point. Severson and Werenski. And Sillinger. That was broken up. 2-on-1. Gatcomb's at the end of his shift, so he'll go off, so no 2-on-1. Dump towards the near quarter. Andre Palat out onto the ice. Palat fed it up front. Pageau could not send this home. Simon Holmstrom's out there now. Pageau to Holmstrom. Holmstrom. Stick lifted and ridden up the puck by Marchenko. He'll send this out to center ice. Matthew Schaefer able to get this away from Adam Fantilli. This is sent down low to Greaves. Jet Greaves has Holmstrom on his face. Finds Severson. He's been out there for what seems like forever. Moving his way through is Kent Johnson with Schaefer on his face. Monahan will have a hold of it at the near corner. Looking to go back. Matejchuk from Goodbranson. Down low for Garland. Eric Goodbranson looks back. Then to Matejchuk. Through to carry. Goes back for Goodbranson. On the left side, this is Garland. Garland, long shot. Walked in front. Off his own man, Goodbranson. Now right around is Shen to take it back for the Islanders. 3-on-2 should the Islanders hurry. Barzal going to Holmstrom. Shen fires it. And that does not get by. Jet Greaves a save. Shots are 12-11. Islanders. Matt Barzal setting up at the net front for Matthew Schaefer. And will return in a moment. So meanwhile, we're in the final seconds of regulation in Tennessee versus Virginia. Tennessee is up 73-71. A potential upset in the making should we have it. There are two more games after this game. Florida versus Iowa and Arizona versus Utah State. Those being UConn versus UCLA and Alabama versus Texas Tech. As of right now, the Lightning lead 1-0 on the Flames. And the Sabres are tied with the Ducks 1-1. So we're still keeping an eye on the current playoff standings. Remember that any game in which the Sabres can mathematically clinch a playoff spot, we will be there. This will end the longest playoff drought among active playoff droughts in the NHL. It's a matter of when. We know it's going to happen. Still, we're also checking on some MLB spring training stuff. The season begins this week, this coming week. I know when opening day is going to be.
So the first game of the MLB season is actually the 25th of March. A game between the Yankees and the Giants. Unfortunately, you won't be able to catch it on cable TV because they are streaming it on Netflix.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
More power to Netflix. Well, I'm not saying this sarcastically.
Yeah, baseball is not putting forth their best effort in trying to make their product accessible to people. But actual opening day is March 26th.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. So just to let you guys notified, I know the Dodgers will be racing another banner, much to the chagrin of the Blue Jays and the Yankees, as we're back here for the final 4:22 of the second period. The only goal from Bo Horvat, which is in the first 85 seconds of the game. Anders Lee, checked up by Ivan Provorov. No goals to speak of in this period, as Tony DeAngelo gets us away from Matthew Olivier. Islanders set it up with Emil Heineman entering. Heineman, pinned by Goodbranson, sends this back over to DeAngelo. He walks in, he fires, save Greaves. Kick back onto the right point. Turnaround shot. That was airmailed. And this will go out to the Islander zone, where it's picked up by Carson Soucy. Soucy. He waits from his own near corner. Watched by Mason Marchment and pursued by him. A stick it away, and Adam Fantilli was also there. Set back to Goodbranson. Around to the near side. Fantilli driving in. Fantilli firing it. Kick save, Sorokin. Rebound to the far half boards, picked up by the Islanders, but not out. Played over to the near corner by Soucy. And Adam Fantilli, who's been growing in this game in his first NHL season. Barzal. Penalty coming up against the Blue Jackets. Penalty against the Blue Jackets for tripping Matt Barzal, and it's going to go to Cole Sillinger. And Sillinger's not happy with himself. He tripped up Barzal as he was streaking down the near side, as Cal Ritchie got it back to him. Just a slight clip on that leg. That's what sent him off to the box. Off the give and go. So he let that one go. So Sillinger's going to head to the box. 2 for tripping. And the Islanders have a good chance to expand their lead to 2-0. No goals to speak of since the Bo Horvat goal early in the first period. He is on the faceoff dot against Charlie Coyle. And it's Horvat winning the faceoff. He's been so good at faceoffs. Matthew Schaefer. He'll go to Matt Barzal. Waiting with it from the top of the left circle. take his time of it. Schaefer, he'll activate up. Now go to Barzal. Barzal, pass down low. It's broken up at the slot. Barzal with it, drives down low. Matt Barzal! Jet Greaves shuts them down. 19 seconds into the man advantage. What a move by Barzal. A power move to the front of the net. To go inside out, trying to undress Jet Greaves. Some silky smooth moves. He wanted to go far side. That was taken away. Another face-off win by Horvat. Going to Barzal. Matt Barzal will survey. Twist and turn around the left circle. Going back for Schaefer. One-timer. Kick save Greaves. The Blue Jackets wanting to clear. It is not out. But finally it's played out. Good stick by Braden Shen to get this one away from the approaching Blue Jacket. That is Sean Monahan looking to go short-handed. Bo Horvat moves it up near side and drops back for Barzal. The 4 Blue Jackets waiting at the line. Horvat gets set up. Drops all the way for Schaefer. Now at the right side, it's Shen. Schaefer going to Barzal. Left circle. Steps into it. Barzal now surveying. Looks Schaefer's direction. Feeds him. Walking to point. Lets one go. Stopped by Greaves. And then there's a check up towards the right side on Provorov. Play all the way out. Schaefer in control. Islanders getting reset. And the Blue Jackets upset. There was no penalty there. Schaefer waiting for Barzal to get reset. Now he can feed Horvat. And Horvat will step into it. Bo Horvat sends it inside, but that's deflected out by Damon Severson with 30 seconds left on the power play. Special teams have not been much of a factor for the Islanders in previous years. But Matthew Schaefer, the hope there is that they can change this completely. This year, they are just 16.8% on the power play, but their penalty kill has taken a rebound year, 81.1%. And once you cross that 80% threshold, that's when you know you have a good penalty kill. J.G. Padjo on this faceoff against Boone Jenner, along with some help from Emil Heineman. Holmstrom sends it in, and picking it up is Isaac Lundestrom. The Islanders keep this one alive, or it's Holmstrom. Simon Holmstrom sends back for Tony DeAngelo. One-timer kicked out by Greaves. Holmstrom with the keep with 13 seconds. Back around to Padjo. Walkie is DeAngelo. Wants to look at Padjo's direction, but decides to go back for Holmstrom. Stepping into it. Holmstrom fires. Airmails the shot. Rebound is picked up away. Holmstrom will be the first one to the puck as Sillinger comes out. The power play expires. Tony DeAngelo with it. He'll send this one up the far side for Pelech. All the way for Jet Greaves. He'll play all the way for Cole Sillinger. Boone Jenner. Cole Sillinger with a step. He fires. Save Sorokin. 57.6 left in the second period. But Simon Holmstrom has had himself a regular season series against the against the Columbus Blue Jackets for the New York Islanders. Jet Greaves gets his blocker on it. A little bit of iron involved there too. 57.6 seconds left as Matthew Schaefer sends it down the ice as it's bouncing to the Blue Jacket zone. First one back is Severson, 78 in blue. Gacombe sticks it away from the defense, and the Jackets will move in with speed, 2-on-2. Fantilli gets sticked away though. Offside against the Blue Jackets. It was delayed, so the arm is put down for the linesman. Kirill Marchenko plays it away. Made his way to Greaves with Kyle McQueen in front. 31.8 left in the period. So Adam Fantilli can utilize his speed to his advantage, and he did that exactly. And the impressive thing of Adam Fantilli is his upside and his willingness to take the body. And for Matthew Schaefer, normally takes most defensemen to figure things out as years go by, but he's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a veteran. 22 seconds left. The Islanders with it. Adam Pelech howitzers this one through as Greaves slowed this long blast from the red line. Played by Schaefer. Keeping this one down low for Lee. Anders Lee looks at the bottom of the right circle for Heineman. Couldn't find him. 5 seconds left And as it's played over to center ice, it's deflected away by Pelech. We will officially have no goals in this game since the 1:25 mark of the first period. After 2 periods, it is still Bo Horvat 1, Columbus no score. That's our score after 40 minutes. Alec Nava, Ian Genge with you. Play-by-play in color. And meanwhile, we have an upset in. Tennessee wins.
They beat
Virginia.
Oh.
Yet the 6th seed beats the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, do you agree with the take that the whole Cinderella aspect has been taken out of March Madness?
Well, with NIL on the come up, with players going to higher level schools and NIL, well, that means there are going to be less and less Cinderellas. The closest that we had to the biggest Cinderella was Siena, who almost pulled off the greatest upset in March Madness history against Duke. But they ran out of gas. It's one thing that you read, because Siena's coach, McNamara, had all the starters play the entire game. All 5 players, all 40 minutes. So essentially you're taxing them and using up their stamina. And that's not going to work for a long time against the Bruiser Twins and Isaiah Evans. But among Cinderellas, High Point was a Cinderella. Texas is a big-name school as a lower seed, but since they are an 11 seed, they technically are a Cinderella. But if you're going by reputation of their school, they had a bigger reputation than what they were taking account for this year. But I have to say, Shindal Weaver and Matas Vukatitis, they're the big-name players in Texas. And people somewhat know about Shindal Weaver in Texas. And people know about Shindal Weaver in Texas as well. So, I'm 50-50 on the take overall.
Yeah. You know, when there's a team like St. Petersburg or St. Peter's or Loyola Chicago, that's when the tournament is at its best.
Or how about Princeton or Oral Roberts? Or
right.
How about in the case of 16 seeds, UMBC and Fairleigh Dickinson?
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, so, of course, those types of upsets are what make March Madness madness.
Yeah.
And soon enough, High Point may be a Cinderella now, but with the money that we have and the investments making in the future, realistically, people are going to take High Point as a legitimate threat in the future. Because the Big South is a one-bid conference. I can see more teams getting bids in conferences in which High Point can have a better chance of being competitive, can see tougher competition at, such as, take this for example, the Atlantic 10 that I mentioned earlier. They have VCU, and they upset North Carolina. I want to see who else is in the Atlantic 10 conference, but I know it's VCU being one of them. But what the levels that High Point could do, I know for a fact we're in the Big South now. I don't know if we're going to get moved to the Atlantic 10, but the Atlantic 10 has Davidson, Dayton, Duquesne, Fordham, George Mason, George Washington, LaSalle, Loyola Chicago, Rhode Island, Richmond, St. Bonaventure, St. Joseph's, St. Louis, and VCU. And remember, VCU wasn't the only team out the Atlantic team at Atlantic 10 in conference in March Madness. We also have to look at St. Louis, who put belt to you know what on Georgia. So that's also of note. The Sabres and Ducks are going at it. It's 2-2 at Honda Center. And it's near the end of the first period, by the way. From the Sabres, the goals are from Alex Tuck and Josh Doan. Both of Anaheim's goals are on the power play, Chris Kreider and Jackson Lacombe. And somehow the Flames are up 2-1 on the Lightning. Victor Olofsson and Morgan Frost, 2 goals, 27 seconds apart, after Ryan McDonough got the Lightning on the board. Yep. So for Tennessee, the top performer is Jacoby Gillespie with 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists on 6 of 14 shooting. Inefficient night, but those assists can make up for that. This is known. 3 of 5 from 3. Made all 6 of his free throws. While Virginia saw a 22-point night from Tease the Ritter. 5 rebounds to go, but 8 of 14 shooting. So, in the middle of the second half, could we be seeing an upset brewing here? Iowa leads by 9 over Florida. We'll be monitoring this game down the line. Oh man, think about this. All right, so we have. So here it is. So here it is. So so the Dodgers are less than a week away from kicking off their season, which they're defending their 2 straight World Series titles, and they were very busy in spring training. Was they're integrating their new closer Edwin Diaz and their new right fielder Kyle Tucker. But a key roster move that they made was sending Haesung Kim to AAA Oklahoma City. And Dodger fans were not really excited with it because Kim is their highly touted infielder he's their super utility prospect, his super utility man prospect. And people were wondering, what more is he supposed to do to prove himself? Because he's a very proven South Korean national who signed with the Dodgers before last season. He made his MLB debut later that year against the Braves, and his speed is his game. He's played both second base and shortstop, and he can play in the outfield as well. His versatility is what makes him valuable to the Dodgers. But I have to say, Dodger fans are wondering, why are they putting Alex Freeland on the roster over Kim? So we're taking some spring training takeaways in the meantime. And one player that we can watch for in Detroit is Kevin McGonigal. And he brought that energy in spring. And recent evaluators are comparing him to Dustin Pedroia, or what AJ Hinch said, Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. McGonigal is the number 2 ranked is Kylie McDaniel's number 2 ranked prospect on ESPN with an excellent spring showing. 977 OPS, 432 on base percentage, and he's played well defensively at shortstop and at third base. Whether he opens the season with the Tigers or is held back in the minor leagues a couple of weeks, he will figure to be on the Tigers' big leagues sooner than later. But being compared to Pedroia, Bregman, and Altuve, it's remarkable company.
Yeah, that is a very remarkable company, especially because Dustin Pedroia was, he was Mr. He was Red Sox personified for years.
He was. Yeah, he was their premier second baseman who spent his entire career with them, winning 3 World Series, winning 2 World Series with them, 2007 and 2013. He did not play in the 2018 World Series. He was not on the roster, but he did receive a World Series ring in that 2018 season. That one led by Mookie Betts and Steve Pearce. Oh, and another player worth watching, Mauricio Dubon, who is new to the Atlanta Braves. He's played in the big leagues in the last 7 years. 2 of those for Dusty Baker, who managed Nicaragua in the recently completed World Baseball Classic. Baker was not surprised that Dubon took up fishing, but was surprised that he never really fished before. Been born in San Pedro Sula in Honduras. But now here's a third one. Matt McLain of the Cincinnati Reds. Once seen as a high-end prospect similar to Kevin McGonigal. He was drafted 17th in 2021 with an OPS of 120, OPS plus of 127 his debut season. But a shoulder injury in 2024, missing the season, saw him plummet his OPS plus of 74 last year. But he was exceptional in spring training, batting over 500 with 21 hits in his first 41 at-bats, including 6 home runs. Yes, it's spring training, but at 5'8" and 180, the Reds are hoping that this could be a bounce-back year. But in an NL Central that's the Brewers, Cubs, and everyone else, it's going to be very tough to gain some ground.
So here's the thing about the NL Central, and specifically the Cincinnati Reds. For me, they have not done enough for me to be confident in them that they'll win the Central. Wild card, possibly. As long as things don't go off the rails early. Now, as for who will win that division, it's probably going to be the Brewers again because they just find a way to do these things. The Cubs have a shot at it. But please, for everything that we all love, can the Pirates please do something? Live up to some kind of potential.
What will make me happy is an 80-win season.
That's more than reasonable.
Yeah.
More than reasonable, and they should be able to do it. Keyword is should.
Yeah, I would love to see the full-time debut of Connor Griffin later this season. He's going to start the season at AAA, but I expect him to be in the major leagues later this year.
Especially if he's consistent.
Exactly. And a full year of Bubba Chandler should help too. Oh, and elsewhere in the sporting world, Tyler Reddick did it again.
I was working the afternoon. He won again.
4 wins in 6 races.
Oh my God. Michael Jordan has found. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say anything yet. But no, you know what? I will say this. Right now, Tyler Reddick is having an MVP caliber racing season. I don't even know if they have an MVP in NASCAR.
Well, they don't, unfortunately, but he's having a championship caliber season.
Yes, he's having a championship caliber season. I'm going to have to find highlights of the race somewhere.
They have it on YouTube.
Because what do you mean he did it again? I'm amazed.
And it's impressive considering that even though he won the pole, he had to change his battery after suffering an accident earlier in the race.
Whoa, wait. He had to have a new battery installed in the car while the race was happening?
Yes, he had to have a new battery installed.
What? Oh my gosh. What rocket has gone off in Tyler Reddick's hindquarters that has propelled him to this level of racing and stardom? I mean, NASCAR, I feel like for a long time, what helped NASCAR survive were the names. You know, the Dale Earnhardts, the Jeff Gordons,
the Jimmy Johnsons.
And the Jimmy Johnsons. I mean, yes, you have those. You have your Kyle Busch. You have your Kyle Larson. You have your Joey Logano. But outside of Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, have they really had a superstar?
I'll have to say, the closest I feel, Kyle Larson, I would say a couple years ago I would consider him a superstar. Now the playing field is even, and I feel that Tyler Reddick has re-emerged into superstardom.
Yep, he definitely has. And he's proving it this season. I mean, at this rate, what would have to happen for him to lose the lead now? I mean, really.
Well, the only way that happens is a disastrous chase for the cup, like what happened with Kyle Busch in 2008. I'm not saying it will happen, but we're hoping that he keeps his momentum up and brings 23-11 that championship this year.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to the start of the third period, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is a 1-0 lead for the New York Islanders after 2 periods of play, getting set for period number 3. And Matthew Schaefer and Tony DeAngelo are by far and away the time on ice leaders for the Islanders. Schaefer's clocked in at 16 minutes, DeAngelo at 15 minutes. And Bo Horvat, the only goal scorer of this game, he's on the bench. The Pajot line is on the ice to begin the third. Matched up against Adam Fantilli, Cole Sillinger. And here we go. Kirill Marchenko also out there, so they sub out Marchment for Sillinger as Rick Bowness make the line change. Adam Pelech and Matthew Schaefer out on the ice as this one bounced off a skate of Severson. Holmstrom there. Pajot kept this one alive, but this will roll to Severson, who has Fantilli in front of him. Decides to go up front to Werenski and Sillinger. Werenski to Sillinger. Sillinger drops back. And that's mishandled. And here comes a 2-on-1. Pajot and Holmstrom. Pajot to Holmstrom. Holding. Howdy coming up against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's gonna be a hook. Kirill Marchenko is going to be going to the penalty box for hooking. It is a takeaway generated by Holmstrom that got this going to Pageau as they were cycling back for the 2-on-1. There was not much that the Blue Jackets could do except commit a penalty, and that's what Marchenko did to prevent Holmstrom from shooting. You're either going to have to take a penalty or allow a goal if you're Columbus. So Marchenko is in a pickle. Horvat wins yet another faceoff. He's been so good at the dot on the night. Barzal down low, it's in front! And Schenn could not bury the rebound. Barzal! Up high and out of play with 11 seconds killed off. 49 seconds gone here on the Marchenko penalty. Now it's Cal Ritchie who was set up at the net front. And Barzal had this one go up high and out of play. He doesn't take a lot of faceoffs anymore as he's moved to a winger role. He used to be the top line center, but with Bo Horvat being acquired, he accepted a winger role as he has historically struggled at the faceoff dot. Libor Chikanik had to stop play for a moment so as to repair the ice and get that cleaned up. This time it's Coyle winning a faceoff cleanly, and the Blue Jackets do get it out. Matthew Schaefer will receive this from Ilya Sorokin as he'll get this set up. The 18-year-old playing in his rookie year in the NHL. Schaefer driving this one up, and he got checked up by Sean Monahan, so Barzal will have to wait some time. Braden Schenn with a hold at the puck. Gets up front, feeds it up the middle. Ritchie too far, but grabs it. Looks towards Schaefer. Took a while to get to him. Schaefer fires. That bounced off of Greaves. Barzal on the hold. And centering pass for Schenn. Oh, they just shoot it. And that one was stopped. And all the way out towards the neutral zone. Matthew Schaefer resetting. Up for Schenn, who bats this one up further. Cal Ritchie in pursuit of Ivan Provorov. Monahan gets it out. And the Blue Jackets will make their changes off the units. We're anticipating the Islanders change units too. Second power play quarterback is Tony DeAngelo. Schaefer drops, and it'll be Heineman who's set up for Simon Holmstrom speeding down the right side. Holmstrom, oh, no call on this one. This should be 5-on-3. No arm up in the air. Same 5-on-4 as DeAngelo. Walks the point, surveying, goes to Heineman. Back for DeAngelo. Jenner couldn't cut in front. Now Heineman waits, goes down low. Back for Heineman. DeAngelo fakes the one-timer, looks left, and feeds Holmstrom. DeAngelo. 15 seconds left on the power play. DeAngelo surveying still. Long shot deflected wide. Picked up by Heineman. Looking for Pageau. The Blue Jackets intercept and clear it all the way down. This will kill off the rest of the power play. Islander fans upset that no penalty was called for the trip. DeAngelo fan on the pass. The Blue Jackets will pick this one up for their own zone as Werenski finds Provorov. Rick Bowness pairing the two together for tying situations in which they need to tie the game up. Ivan Provorov for the near half boards decides to go back for Kirill Marchenko. Takes a bounce off of Gatcomb, and here is Fantilli. Adam Fantilli, one-timer. Provorov, no deflection there. Sellinger! That one off of Sorokin. He lost his stick. Now he can pick it back up as this is forced down by McQueen. Yet Greaves in trouble. He has to get back to his crease. Sezakis tries one. That's wide. Adam Boquist on the hold. This pops towards the mesh. 3:25 into this third period. Some good chances for Cole Sillinger. There's more in front of the net. And Sorokin got caught up on the paddle as he was getting back towards his crease. 16:35 left in the third period. The only goal belonging to Bo Horvat. Sorokin trying to maintain what would be a league-leading 7th shutout. He has to hang on for 16 more minutes and 35 more seconds. Won by the Columbus Blue Jackets as Gabranson got up front, kept in by the Islanders. Barzal, Ritchie, back to Barzal, in front, a shot, stopped by Greaves. Point blank shot as the Islanders trying to make it 2-0. Another chance! Greaves, another save! Two great looks for the Islanders to try to extend it. Here's Kent Johnson back the other way. Sent this towards the far corner. Picked up by Mayfield with Johnson in pursuit. Barzal tied up by Matejchuk. Monahan on the keep. Near corner is Boquist, who gets shoved once and goes down. Sean Monahan plays it. Barzal read it. He'll get this one out just enough to get the line changes going. Just got into the Columbus blue line. Branson waits. He'll send this left side for Matejchuk. Denton Matejchuk holding the rookie defenseman for the Blue Jackets. Up the middle for Matthew Olivier. Had that breakout year last year. The Blue Jackets forced back as Matejchuk, watched by Pageau. Up the near half boards, Marchment. This one bounced to Olivier. Soucy trying to exit out with it. He does. Werenski playing it. Zach Werenski moves it up. That bounced off of Bo Horvat. Werenski through the middle. Werenski to the left circle. That went off of Soucy's stick and out of play. And a little bit of extracurriculars, but not much. So Werenski has been the most valuable man on that Columbus locker room. He showed that he's a franchise defenseman of the team lead in points. Not many defensemen lead their own team in points. But Zach Werenski's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Braden Shen had a dangerous look at the front of the net. We saw previously that those were two grade A looks right on Jet Greaves. The first one went off of Greaves' glove. The second one went wide net. Coyle with the faceoff dot. Won by him, but the Islanders get this one out. Severson beats out Lee to the puck. And Damon Severson will send this up the far side for Mason Marchment, who will send it around the boards. To the near corner, D'Angelo battles Charlie Coyle. Blue Jackets look to tie this one up. Werenski onto the right point. Long shot deflected. That's wide. Rebound up front. Olivier turn away. Point blank by Sorokin. And the Islanders get this one up. 1-on-1. Here's Heidemann. Emil Heidemann tries to toe drag around, but not much there as this is played out. Offside against the Islanders as an errant pass from Heidemann saw this puck leaves his own. 14:40 left. But Charlie Coyle got it point blank to Matthew Olivier, went off Sorokin and off the left post. He knows where the trouble is. Actually, that was not off the post, that was off of his right pad. And Olivier shaking his head. He had a great A chance to tie it. Won by the Blue Jackets. Provorov had it out of his reach. Ivan Provorov to the far side. Up the benches. And this will be retrieved by Sorokin. Got it away from Jenner. The Blue Jackets hold though. Danton Heinen is there. All four forward lines able to balance each other out. Heinen up the far corner with Cizikas watching him. Down go both of them along with Scott Mayfield. Little Jenner there. Got this to the left point for Provorov. Provorov gets this one down low. Took it bounce off the stanchion. The Islanders in control. Scott Mayfield moves it up. Dante Fabro the first one back onto Columbus zone. And that pass was well off the mark. McQueen on the hole. Pageau fires this one. Greaves have to be ready for it. Fabro on the handle of the left side. Held at the left point. Columbus keeps this with them. It's Kirill Marchenko with it. Kirill Marchenko chased down by Simon Holmstrom up to the near side. The Islanders play this one up and out over to the Columbus zone where it is Werenski with it. Damon Severson to Adam Fantilli. Nice move inside of Simon Holmstrom. Takes us outside as he's forced out by Schaefer. Holmstrom on the takeaway thanks to Schaefer. Schaefer stops with Sillinger in pursuit. Holmstrom. Simon Holmstrom across. He'll go back for Schaefer. Matthew Schaefer. The Islanders still have time to get the line changes up. Moves up the middle now as the new guys are on the ice. It's Braden Shen. Shen goes inside. Shen could not get in the clear as it was sticked away by Fantilli. The Islanders who have it again. Dumps it in for the far side. Shen in pursuit. Werenski beats him out to it. Ritchie cuts him off. Barzal on the glove down. Matt Barzal on the right circle. Looks to whip it around over to Shen. He does. Shen goes back right point. D'Angelo long shot. That bounced off of Werenski's head. Barzal on the far corner. Barzal to the front. Couldn't find a cutting Islander. That's Horvat. Or rather, Ritchie. D'Angelo back to Barzal. Cut off by Fantilli. Moves it up over to Kent Johnson. Up to the near side, Marchenko looks to go back. Here's Fantilli. He fires. Saves Sorokin. Behind the net. Fantilli tried to set it up for Marchenko. Marchenko tied up by Carson Soucy. And the Blue Jackets snag this over towards the left point across. Here's the trailer, Sean Monahan. Monahan. Whip around pass over towards the point. Still 5-on-5. We're not in a power play. Johnson aired this pass towards the right point. Werenski couldn't keep it, and the Islanders will play this one through as Brayden Schenn goes down on one knee. Played up for Ritchie. He'll backhand this deep. Jet Greaves. Nearing the halfway mark of this third period. Denton Matejchuk plays this one up. Third middle, deflected up onto the near quarter. Scott Mayfield, the first one to the puck. Adam Boquist. Held in by Matejchuk. Columbus in control. Coyle to the right point. Gudbranson, long shot. Walkered away by Sorokin, and Gatcomb will place it out. Bouncing puck. The Islanders will exit out with it. The Blue Jackets grab it back. Matejchuk to Gudbranson, and here is Marchment. Up the far side. And in control with Charlie Coyle up against Matthew Schaefer. The Jackets have it. Loose stick on the ice. Here's Provorov. Out of his reach. Marchment a shot. Off the cage. Mason Marchment tried a seeing eye shot. He's still with the puck. Out for Provorov. Islander without the stick. That is Emil Heineman. Provorov couldn't handle it. And Matthew Olivier has to be careful not to have a holding penalty against him. And now the Islanders exit the zone with the puck, and they'll make changes. Behind the net. Played over towards the far corner to Heineman with a new stick. To the left point. Facing the point, it is Tony D'Angelo. Long shot grabbed by Jet Greaves. And finally, you have a stoppage with the whistle blowing for the ice scrapage, and we can get those loose sticks off the ice now. 10:37 left in the third. Bo Horvat 1, Blue Jackets 0. We'll be right back. It is 3-2 Ducks, by the way. We're still keeping an eye out on Iowa versus Florida, and Florida has cut it to within 1. They were the comeback kids last year. 3 comebacks in the tournament for Florida, including the national championship against Houston. When we talk about the Ducks, the most recent goal for them is the rookie Beckett Seneca, who was not expecting to be drafted by the Ducks, but Pat Verbeek saw the vision. UCLA UConn is underway. UCLA has the first 4 points. All right, so to answer the question, S-Spin 329, where can I watch the game? You can watch the game if you have ESPN Plus with you, if you have a subscription. If you live in Ohio, you can watch it on FanDuel Sports Network Ohio. And if you live in New York or in the tri-state area, you can watch the game on MSGSN or the Islanders feed. Just to answer your question. All right. So that's we're coming back soon enough onto play. It's been a while since we had an ice scrapage here. But I know there's a lot of time for discussions. Many are anticipating the Dodgers to win 3 straight World Series titles, but there are going to be many teams gunning for them. I can assure you. Because last season showed they may seem invincible after the offseason, but in season is why you play the games. So now, out of nowhere, the Philadelphia Flyers are 4 points back of a wild card spot in the East. Out of nowhere. Face off won by the Jackets, but the Philadelphia Flyers? Them?
I guess so.
We have no idea how this happened. And here is Casey Cizikas part this 4th line with the Islanders. Moving into Gatcomb and now Soucy. Carson Soucy gains his own. With Holmstrom, Soucy fires it, easily gloved down by Greaves. He had Holmstrom and Gatcombe with him. 10-12 to go here in the third. All right. So now as we're having the ticks go down the clock, Carson Soucy, been primarily a defensive defenseman. He started the year with the New York Rangers. And got involved in just the fourth ever trade in the history of the Rangers-Islanders rivalry. Very rare do you see this happening, but it's significant for the Islanders as it's sent up near side. Fantilli gets cut off by Pelech. Still got some game left in him as a defensive defenseman. The Islanders pick it back up. Sillinger taking this one at center ice. He'll dump this down towards the far side. Picked up by Pelech. Adam Pelech to Matthew Schaefer, who's tied up at the near corner. Jean-Gabriel Pageau also there. Fantilli poked it loose. Pelech trying to get this out. Marchenko on the hold. From Marchenko. Cole Sillinger. Could not be played through, but Horinski has held it for the Jackets. Long shot turned away by Sorokin. Pelech tied up by Fantilli. Right behind the net, Sillinger. Matthew Schaefer wraps him up. Poke free, and Pageau will play it. Jean-Gabriel Pageau. For the near side, has Holmstrom with him. He'll send this towards Greaves, playing this for Werenski. 1-0 Islanders, the only goal from Bo Horvat early in the first period. 20-15 to shots in favor of the Islanders. This puck was deflected up, so no icing. Mayfield away from Monahan. Near the Islander bench. Islanders send it in as Cal Ritchie in pursuit after it with Matt Barzal. Braden Shen gets it over to Barzal, and now Ritchie. Behind the crease, Fabro with a stick on it. Kept it at the left point over to Ritchie. Cal Ritchie. Matt Barzal sandwiched up by Provorov as he moves it up. Provorov towards the red line. Far side Fabro sends it inside. Monahan the first one back. Towards the near half boards, Shen cuts off the approaching Blue Jacket. A tangle up as Boquist tied up Monahan, and now Mayfield plays it towards the Islander bench where it's gloved down by Fabro. Now back inside is Kirill Marchenko. Or rather, Connor Garwin goes inside out. Sorokin shut him down. An impressive save by Ilya Sorokin as Garwin turned the world inside out. Matt Barzal plays this one back as the Islanders take their time with this puck. Now they move it up front towards the far side. Bo Horvat slowing time down. Long shot, kick save, rebound. Oh, it's a car crash! And it's in the net! Oh my, the Islanders go up by 2 on one of the freakiest bounces in hockey this season. The goal will be credited to Anders Lee as he was sitting up at the front of the nets. Somehow, some way, it ends up at the back of the net. It was just a simple shot, and there was no goaltender interference in the play either, Ian. Matthew Olivier was the one driving Lee to the net. He pushed him to the net. So I would think that if Rick Bowness were to challenge it, he's going to lose that challenge. But that's a goal that you don't want to see if you're the opposition.
No.
My goodness. Anders Lee is credited with the goal. They were just about to drop the puck. Oh, but wait a moment. Speaking of coaches' challenges, that's what Columbus is doing, but I don't think Rick Bowness is going to win this challenge. So Frederick Lecuyer and Carter Sandlak are going to look at the video replay to see if there's goal interference. I think Lee got pushed into Greaves. And I think it was clear and obvious that there was no interference. There was a push from Olivier. He knows the situation of the game, and he's trying to get some momentum back, but why not just use your timeout instead?
I don't know.
Huh. I mean, there's no doubt that there's a push from Matthew Olivier. The puck went in the net. But I don't think there was goaltender interference, too, either. But I feel there might be a differentiation of opinion. The longer this takes, the more suspenseful it gets. Does Lee put himself in a position where he initiates contact? I thought it was obvious at first that Olivier got pushed, but did Olivier ground him down, or did Lee drive himself to the net? But I don't think this is... I think there was a push, the way I see things. There's a squeeze. I don't mind... Well, the challenge, I don't think... Oh my goodness. On a different note, in light of recent discourse, I have to say that Sonic the Hedgehog is one of those franchises that can adapt to anything. It can collaborate with anything. So say, Mario? Sure, go ahead. DC Comics? Yes, sir. How about the Smurfs? Why not? But... Oh my god. The collaborations that Sonic the Hedgehog is getting, it's just a generational list of collaborations.
Yeah.
I mean, you can name any franchise. Mega Man, for example. Legend of Zelda, check. Here's the call. Oh my goodness, we were dead wrong about this. The Islanders had their goal wiped off the board. Rick Bowness was successful in his challenge. It goes back to 1-0.
Wow.
Man.
So the Blue Jackets are still alive.
Oh, and Anders Lee wants an explanation from Frederick Lecoullier, and Mason Marchment wants to talk to him about it. And I have to say I disagree with this. I think you may disagree with this ruling too. Yeah, I think there was a push. That's not goaltender interference.
No, that's not. The replay officials got it wrong.
Yeah, that was. I have to say I disagree with this ruling. And the Islanders immediately they go back to work looking to double down on their stance that puck don't lie. Columbus wants to tie this game up. But given circumstances, Rick Bowness made a desperate measure. And it somehow worked. This puck was stopped by Sorokin. Oh my goodness. That could have dangerously bounced onto the net off a rebound. Islanders play this one up the far side, but it's held in by Columbus. No play to the SWAT, as this is a good stick with his D'Angelo. Back over towards the far side. It is played by Lee. This is not icing as it made its way to Greaves. Zach Werenski with it. 7 minutes left in regulation. Up the near side, rather. There's Adam Fantilli. Played it over to around the net. Ilya Sorokin. Played over to Mark Gatcomb. Gatcomb tried to stick it out. Held in by Columbus. Towards the left circle, Kromarchenko. Good stick check to get that one away. And here is a potential 2-on-1. That's canceled out. Cizikas has to regroup as the puck is outside the zone. 6:30 left as the Islanders retreat back. Cizikas back over to Pelech. He'll feed Schaefer. Wholesale line changes for both teams as Schaefer got tangled up by Connor Garland. Back goes Kent Johnson. Sarah Monahan. Johnson fires. Save Sorokin. Best save and most important one of the game as the Islanders tried to get this one out. Holding on to a 1-0 lead. Kent Johnson for the left point. Sent this one around. Adam Pelech got in the way at that pass. Jean-Gabriel Pajot. Air pass. The pass sailed up 50 feet in the air. It lands down to the near quarter. Andre Palat couldn't handle it. Provorov could. He is bodied up by J.G. Pajot. This is sent over towards the point. Or center ice as this is picked up now by Provorov. Islanders and Blue Jackets making their changes. Provorov taking his time of it. And over to Boone Jenner. Jenner down to the near side. He'll send this one around the boards, bouncing off of Heinen. Mayfield tangling him up. Back to the right point. This is Severson. Damon Severson watched by Braden Shen. He'll drop back for Lundestrom. Lundestrom, high shot. And this bounced off a body. Collected at the near corner by Mayfield. Played by the Islanders, Ritchie. Clears it all the way down, and it's Werenski. 5:10 left. Bo Horvat the only goal. Severson played this one up. Blue Jackets trying to tie it at 1. Jenner to Heinen, who started the season on the Penguins. This bounced off of Barzal's skate. We're in the final 5. And the Blue Jackets still with it as this Zach Werenski played up for the near side. Drops back for Jenner. Near corner. Played by Jenner, but it goes by him. Horvat and Heineman both there. Emil Heineman, of a stick it away, dropped back for D'Angelo, who'll send this down towards the far corner. Ivan Provorov, the first one there. Charlie Coyle trying to get it out. He gets tangled up on the far side. And up for the middle. Here is a 1-on-3 for Matthew Olivier, who'll drop back one timer. Provorov's shut down by Sorokin. Charlie Coyle is down low. He'll turn around and fire it. No rebound there. Matthew Olivier sends this back towards the left point. Held in. Olivier fires wide. Lee clears it on a bouncing puck, sending this down the distance, and the Islanders will get their changes on. Provorov with 4 minutes left. Blue Jackets trying to tie it. Moved up for the near side to Marchment. Mason Marchment. That hit Palat on the pass back. And with less than 4 minutes to go, big hit by Pajo on Kirill Marchenko as Palat sent it over around the far boards. Jet Greaves will play this towards the corner. Zach Werenski's back out there. They're getting their offensive options out there. Try for a game-tying goal. The Islanders get this puck. No icing as it was off a skate past the red line. D'Angelo sends this one down. Picked up by Severson. Werenski places it up. Near side for Sillinger. Goes Sillinger. Trying to go back for Werenski. And here's a foot race. A lot of Blue Jackets back in. Pajo lost an inch. Columbus picks it back up with Adam Fantilli. To the high slot, around Susie. Goes to the trailer, Werenski. Werenski fires, save, rebound! Sorokin got both shots. Sillinger the second one. Marchenko goes back for Severson. Long shot, glove save, Sorokin. That went off the glass. Is kept alive by Columbus. Severson, one-timer, another save by Sorokin! And he will hang on with 2:59 on the clock. Turning away Kirill Marchenko at the bottom of the left circle. 1-0 Islanders, and Sorokin's less than 3 minutes away from his 7th shutout of the season. We'll be right back. And Dallas's playoff clinching hopes will wait another day. The Vegas Golden Knights win in regulation 3-2. The game-winning goal scored with 3 minutes 38 seconds left. Riley Smith, assisted by Mitch Marner and Pavel Dorofeev. Florida is up by 2 against Iowa. 8 seconds left. It is 72-70, the Florida lead. They are the defending national champion. And this Iowa team is composed mostly of former Drake Bulldogs. Bennett, Sturtz, and company follow Ben McCollum to Iowa. And that includes Cale Combs, Tavion Banks, and Cam Manyawu among those Drake transfers to Iowa. Alex Condon is the leading scorer on Florida with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Second leading scorer is Thomas Haw, followed by Xavier Lee. 19 points for Haw, 11 of them coming off free throws. Lee with 17 points. So we're coming back here for the end of this game. Less than 3 minutes to go. Ilya Sorokin trying to hang on and hold on to what could be his 7th shutout of the season. He has 6 on the year already. The Blue Jackets trying to spoil it. And Patrick Waugh says, "Come off it, man. That's not goaltender interference." It just that confident smirk from him should say it all. And things got semi-heated on Waugh's part. Offensive zone face-off won by the Blue Jackets as Adam Fantilli, long blast, and it's hold on to by Sorokin off the long shot from Werenski. No ice scrapage here. As the Blue Jackets are trying to hold on to a playoff spot, but so are the Islanders. Islanders win. They'll pass the Red Wings in the standings, and they'll be on the outside looking in. So whatever happens, the Blue Jackets will hold on to at least third in the Metro. Marchenko trying to get this one around for the boards. Jet Greaves is not at the bench yet. Zach Werenski controlling at the left point. Fires his one up high. Fantilli. Adam Fantilli. Hound at the far quarter. Andre Palat plays this one out. And now here's Damon Severson. Columbus trying to get Greaves to the bench. Werenski flips this one towards the far quarter. D'Angelo is there. Sillinger trying to go after it. Greaves still not at the bench yet. He is still in the crease. Islanders clear it out again. Werenski places one towards the left point. Fed it up towards the near half boards. Garwin hounded down. 2:13 left. Columbus trying to get their scores on the ice. Play back toward the point. Severson fires. Rebound there. Sorokin Snow Angel. And he's got it. .205 left. Ilya Sorokin with the play of the game. Wow.
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, he was all Snow Angel on the ice as he is getting whacked up by many Blue Jackets.
They're really about to win this thing 1-0 because Ilya Sorokin is a goalie god.
And now Jet Greaves is at the bench. They have sent out the extra attacker. It is now 6-on-5. So the Blue Jackets are doing what they have to do. Schaefer, Pelech, Horvat, Lee, and Heineman for the Islanders. Face-off won by the Blue Jackets, sent towards the right circle. Long shot, and another save by Sorokin. He's easily the player of the game. Should the Islanders hang on and preserve a 1-0 victory. They would love to get an empty net goal, which they have Bo Horvat on the ice for defensive purposes. Charlie Coyle for the faceoff with Sean Monahan, Adam Fantilli, and Mason Marchment. Marchenko there too. Pass back to Werenski at the right point. Werenski lets one go. The rebound's free at the slot. Heineman controls it away from it. And Heineman clears this one out. 1:47 to go. The Blue Jackets down by a goal. They need to tie it up. Werenski gains the red line. Sends this to the far corner. Played it behind the net. Big hit along the boards. Played over to Werenski again. Looks for Marchment again. This pass to Werenski, an error one, but finds him anyway. Looks up front. Goes down low at the far corner. Sent towards the front. The puck's still not there for them to be had. Werenski changes place to Marchenko. One-timer right circle. Sorokin there. Held inside by the Blue Jackets. A little bit of a slowdown. No arm up in the air. 6-on-5 we stay. 1:08 to go. Monahan, Coyle, Marchment. The puck is poked free. Coyle gets it over towards the far quarter. Lee trying to get it out. Now it's Sean Monahan trying to get this back. Fantilli does. Here's Werenski controlling the point. Zach Werenski sends one to the right side. Here's Fantilli. Delivers one down low towards the slot. Shot blocked. And it's cleared out by Anders Lee to the benches. 44.4 left. And in all likelihood, Rick Bowness is going to use his timeout, which I think he will. And speaking of such, when we talked about a possible upset from Iowa, guess what? It just happened.
They beat number one. They beat first seed Florida.
Yes. Down go the champs. We will have a new champion in 2026. your final score? The Hawkeyes 73, the Gators 72, and it's Banks, the hero. All right, so I think it's going to be Coyle who'll be taking face-off duties. But what a game from Benchmark International Arena, Tampa, Florida. So the 6 on the ice are Fantilli, Monahan, Coyle, Marchment, Marchenko, and Werenski. Coyle for right side faceoffs, Monahan for left side faceoffs. Coyle is 7 of 20 on faceoffs. Bo Horvat 12 of 19. It's Horvat and Coyle. Johnny Murray to drop the puck. Tie up. Won by Columbus with some help. Werenski holds, fires, save! Glove side Sorokin. Islanders trying to clear it out. 35 seconds to go. Loose to the near corner. The Islanders do get it out. They'll flip it to center ice. Zach Werenski controls it. 27 seconds. And this bounce off an Islander as it'll make its way to Schaefer at the near corner. Trying to play this out. Marchenko holds it. On to the far corner. Directed it right around for traffic. 15 seconds to go. Marchment plays it over to Marchenko. Loose out in front. It's at the slot. Schaefer plays it away. 8 seconds left. Glove down by Werenski. Played on the backhand towards the near corner. 3 seconds to go. It's behind the net. Last ditch effort to get it home. And Ilya Sorokin has his 7th shutout of the season. 1-0 your final. They say in sports, defense wins championships, but sometimes your best defender has to be your goaltender, and it's Ilya Sorokin who picks up the shutout, his 7th of the season, to extend his case for the Vezina Trophy. He stopped all 23 shots.
This man has 7 shutouts this season. Name a goalie that's better. I can't.
And this is with all due respect to Andrei Vasilevsky, who start the season off hot. About to say Sorokin badly needed this because he got pulled last game after allowing 6 goals to the Canadiens, and he was struggling out of the Olympics. But sometimes it takes one game, any game, Ian, to get your confidence back on track. This was that game.
Definitely. What a match. What a game. What a performance by Ilya Sorokin.
What a win for the Islanders. A confidence booster to get back on track. And it's Bo Horvat, the only goal of the game. 85 seconds into the first period. That stood as the only goal. And a shout out to Jet Greaves, by the way, too, Ian. He stopped 21 of 22.
This is true. This is... If it was any other goalie, that is a winning performance. Unfortunately, you went up against Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah, any other goalie, they would have gotten a goal off and onto the board. And I was to say, they had to be thankful that Patrick Waugh announced that Sorokin was starting back-to-back games. Because traditionally, this would have been the spot for David Riddick. But because Sorokin started yesterday, because on paper, the Canadiens are the tougher matchup. However, given the situation at hand and the Islanders are kind of slumping right off the gate, I feel that this was the right choice to go to Sorokin for back-to-back games. He's our Vezina Trophy leader. And Bo Horvat said it best. Lucky to have him.
Oh, yeah. right now, the Islander. But let's also address something. This is one of the few times where Columbus got shut down. They score, and they score a lot.
Yeah, usually they do. But it's one of those rare... Yeah, only a brick wall could stop you. His name is Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah. And with that being said, the Islanders only scored one goal too. That right there,
It's defense.
yeah, that right there is defense. Man.
And you want to hear another fun fact, Ian? The goal
What's that?
85 seconds in was the earliest goal in Islanders franchise history in a 1-0 victory in a game.
Wow.
This was the defense that took the charge. Special shout out to Carson Soucy, by the way.
Yes.
All right. So that's going to do it here from Elmont. Do you have anything else to say here before we go?
No.
Well, may the madness continue. We're watching on March Madness and the Frozen Four. That's going to start on the 26th. So 4 days until we get going in the Frozen Four tournament. On the men's side, once again, we congratulate the Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team on their 5th national championship since 2019. Alongside Ian Genge, I'm Alec Nava. We say good night from New York.
Yep. Good night, everybody.